Just a brief update while I find 5 minutes. I will do a fuller explanation of what's happened in court today with Prince Harry. But one thing that did catch my attention in the few minutes that I get in a break that I have here is that he's being described as being snookered a number of times by Mr. Green of King's Counsel. And obviously, for those unfamiliar with the term, that means that he finds himself in a position that he's stuck and can't get out. That is the very point of cross-examination. And so one example of those has been reported by Sky News, which is along the lines of Mr. Green asking Prince Harry if he can accept that a lack of phone data suggests that in fact he was not hacked by a Mirror Group news journalist. Now, Prince Harry responded to say absolutely not. So he's saying that he can't accept that the lack of data suggests that he wasn't hacked. But of course, it's Harry that must prove this claim. And to do so, he would need evidence. Of course, his own testimony is going to be evidence, but a lack of any real evidence, such as phone data that unequivocally showed that his phone had been hacked and accessed by somebody else, which on the face of it may be difficult to get in any event, but absent that information and that real evidence, it might well end up being a very difficult case to prove. Now, Mr. Green followed up with a very interesting line of questioning to say, if the court finds that you were not hacked by Mirror Group, would you be relieved or disappointed? Now, this is one example, very carefully, very strategically put, of an open question in cross-examination, because of course, there is only really one or two answers to this question, and either way will give an avenue to follow up in the cross-examination. Now, Harry responded to say, not directly answering the question, but followed on to say that the hacking was on an industrial scale and that he would feel that it's an injustice if this wasn't accepted. So naturally, if he strongly feels that this phone hacking did happen and was on an industrial scale, naturally he's going to feel that this is a strong injustice, and naturally anybody else would feel the same way. But quite a provocative response, as it's being reported from Mr. Green, to say, to ask, so you want your phone to have been hacked? Prince Harry responds by telling his lordship that nobody wants their phone to be hacked. Now, of course, this line of questioning has been followed because if Harry wanted his phone to be hacked, of course, that would prove his claim. But if he wants it to be hacked, then he can't at the same time think that it's a bad thing. So the question itself is very much a double-edged sword. Would you be relieved or disappointed if the court finds that you were not hacked? If you were relieved that there's no finding of any hacking, then of course it means those terrible things didn't happen. But the line of questioning is really implying that he wants this to be the case, that his phone was hacked, so that he can prove his claim, because he obviously has a strong vendetta against what he alleges to have happened. And if indeed it has happened, that's obviously a terrible thing. But of course, that is for the court to decide. So I'll be going through these in a lot more detail and other bits of the cross-examination in more detail later on when I have more time. But this one I thought was very interesting, and I thought I'd bring it to you now. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get updates of when those further videos are released. Thank you for staying with me, and I'll see you next time.